Hi there and welcome to this video lesson. Today I want to share some very helpful tips with you designed for when you have limited time to actually sit down and practice guitar. Many of you probably know this. Once you're no longer in school but go to university, college or work a 9-to-5 job, most of your day is actually spent at university, college or at your job plus your commute. And then it often becomes almost impossible to practice guitar intensively. Even if you still love music and want to do more, after a long day at work, you're usually too exhausted to really focus on your guitar and make real progress. In the 20 years I've been teaching guitar, I've had many students in exactly the same situation. But a few of them incorporated the tips I'm sharing with you today into their daily routines and managed to continuously take their playing to the next level. You can also use these tips even if you're already pretty motivated, adding a little extra to your practice sessions. You'll genuinely excel and even surpass others who may practice more often but without deeper insight, because many of these tips expand your musical understanding in ways that cannot be gained through finger exercises, just learning songs or studying music theory intensively. Also, these things can be done by both beginners and advanced players. And as always, I've prepared a very helpful step-by-step guide for you to download for free. Just click the link in the video description or the first pinned comment. Now let's dive into tip number 1. Tip number 1 is improve your rhythm guitar and musical feel by actively listening to music. If you've watched any of my rhythm guitar videos, which are now linked in a playlist above, then you already know how important rhythm awareness is. Music is 50% rhythm and 50% melody. And while melody only works through rhythm, rhythm can exist on its own. But many guitarists often overlook this and don't pay enough attention to rhythm. If you've practiced with a metronome for a while, or you can count your rhythms while you're playing songs, and maybe also have a sense of what a drummer is doing to give a song its groove, then while you're on the move, whether you're in a car, on a bus or on a train, you can reinforce and develop your rhythmic feel simply by listening to music on the go. Start with the simplest exercise. Count along to every song you hear, maybe tapping your foot or clapping your hands in time. Use your metronome app with its tap tempo feature to test yourself. Tap along until your metronome clicks in sync with the song's beat. Later you can look up the tempo online and challenge yourself with more complex rhythms. If you're still relatively new to the guitar, just use very simple songs with open chords and simple strumming. And as you learn to play these songs on guitar as well, you'll develop a strong rhythm sense and you'll always know how to execute a specific strum pattern. And then as your skill grows, you can apply this method to more complex songs or techniques. Tip number 2, visualize playing guitar. Studies show that mentally rehearsing a motor skill activates the same neural pathways as actual playing. And modern research confirms that mental practice alone is far better than doing nothing. And in many cases, almost as effective as real physical practice. Combined with real practice, it can significantly boost learning success. So when you're on the go listening to your favorite music, don't just tap the tempo, visualize actually playing the song on guitar. I've been doing this for many years when I listen to music, not just with songs I can already play, but also with songs I've never played before. Over time, you build up an intuitive sense of what the guitarist is doing, with solos, licks, runs, chord progressions, even without holding a guitar. Often when I then go and play these songs or licks, it feels much easier because I visualized them repeatedly beforehand. Here's what to do. Close your eyes and imagine playing a chord progression, riff, run or solo smoothly and precisely. Visualize the finger movement, timing and tone as detailed as you can. Do this for 2 to 3 minutes every day, ideally focused and distraction-free. And next time you pick up the guitar, try playing the sections you visualized before. This technique also underpins several of the upcoming tips. Tip number 3, learn to sing. Back in 2011, when playing with my old band Cunning Mantrap, we still hadn't found a lead singer almost 2 years after forming, so I stepped in to sing. Even though I had sung a little before, I had never tried combining complex riffs or licks or solos with singing. It took about a year, but I persisted. It changed my guitar playing fundamentally for the better. Firstly, I learned to disconnect the guitar motions from conscious control so my fingers performed automatically. That led me to focus on singing technique and melody simultaneously. Often singing melodies push against the guitar rhythmically, which becomes a real brain workout. but once I managed that, my guitar playing became far more confident. Secondly, because I had to pay close attention to my pitch while singing, both my ears and surprisingly my guitar tone improved. I then started playing and writing vocal melodies on the guitar as well, because this helped me to create better vocal melodies, but also hear when I wasn't hitting notes precisely. And I still do that while writing songs. Even though I now hire and work with talented lead singers, I still write my lyrics and vocal melodies myself, and my own vocal learning continues to benefit my playing. All in all, really learning to sing sharpened my melodic awareness, tone, and attention to nuance in music overall. Tip number 4, train your ears using the Functional Ear Trainer app. In our highly visual society, music education relies too heavily on the visual sense. YouTube videos, books, tabs, even though ear training is vital to becoming a great musician. I didn't come from a musical family and made many mistakes early on because I hadn't developed my hearing. And many of my students often make the same mistake. If you already have some guitar skills but feel your progress is slowing, training your ears can be a tremendous help. There are 2 excellent apps, both called Functional Ear Trainer. One for mobile, iOS, Android, and one for desktop. Links are in the video description, pinned comment, and downloadable PDF. These apps focus on interval recognition and cadences. You learn to identify intervals, which helps immensely with transcribing melodies and chord changes. In order to better work with these apps, you'll have to learn how to sing and hum these intervals. So singing, ear training, and guitar progress create a very powerful positive feedback loop. Working with these apps for just 5 minutes per day can increase your ability to identify intervals and later melodies by ear. Later on, you don't even have to sing them anymore. And then you can also better identify mistakes in tablature or transcriptions instantly. When I need to learn a difficult passage quickly, I rely both on tablature and my developed hearing. Tip number 5, use index cards to learn music theory and your fretboard. Joe Satriani inspired this one. He used this extensively as a student, and look where he is now. Grab a stack of index cards and use them to learn theory, fretboard mapping, chords, scales, modes, anywhere, anytime. For example, write the string and fret number on one side and the actual note on the other side. Or write the chord name on one side and the triad or tetrad on the other. Later on, you can even add 5 or 6 note chords. You can also practice scales and even modes. Satriani even memorized modes by singing them when working with these cards. Now you might think that's a lot of work and there's probably an app for this. And there probably is, but research also shows that writing things by hand increases learning significantly. Plus, psychologically, when you've spent so much time writing these cards and creating your own systems, you're more likely to stick with it. You learn more consistently because it feels personally invested, unlike a quickly forgotten app. And as your card system improves, your learning also grows. Maybe also try color coding cards for different categories and then focus your learning on specific areas. And here's a bonus tip, tip number 6. Read autobiographies or biographies of famous musicians. Developing the habit of reading non-fiction books and biographies is essential no matter what field you pursue. After I finish reading a biography or autobiography of one of my favorite bands or musicians, I'm inspired and full of new ideas for songwriting, playing, and creativity. Such books often reveal the mindset and secret approaches of very famous musicians as well. Reading about someone's creative process is almost like learning it directly from them. Even reading general music books can deeply influence your understanding, even when you're traveling or haven't held a guitar in days. And that's it for this video. Do you have any other tips for musicians wanting to develop without their instrument? Please let me know in the comments. And if these tips help you, please give this video a thumbs up, share it, comment, like, and subscribe to my channel for more valuable content. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, enjoy your guitar journey.